Hello, Healthy Family, and welcome to today's Mindset Monday. Thank you so much for coming and sharing some time with me. I love and appreciate you all. I'm Chanel, Ascending Infinite Goddess, and today's Mindset Monday is inspired by a conversation I had with my coaching client. It was their last session, and we just were touching on like vast majority of different things. And the word crazy came up, right? So today we're going to talk about crazy. Like, are you crazy or are you a lunatic, right? So I love, ever since since my husband would tell me, oh, the etymology of this, the etymology of that. And I'm like, what the hell is that, right? Basically, it's just, where did the word come from? What is the root and the base of the word? Because the English language, as you know, is comprised of many different languages, right? There's few words that are original to English. So the word crazy is an Old English word. And when you look at different scholars and researchers, they're like, oh, English is so young, it's not even one of the original languages, right? So is it even valid, right? And of course, a lot of the words that we use in American English, even the spelling of them, it is done in a way, because how do I frame this? It's done in a way to kind of keep you bounded, to keep you confined, to keep you constricted, right? Speaking is magic. Your spirit is, or your life force is given, when you speak, your life force is given energy in the outside world, right? As a man speaketh, so he become, right? As a man thinketh, so he become. But usually the things that you think is what you speak. Even when people say, think before you talk, you have to, those words are forming from somewhere. So even if you speak like right off the hairbrain and you're coming from your heart, a lot of those times, those words are coming from a space of, you know, what it is that you have been mulling over, that you've been feeling, right? Something that's in your spirit. And mind the baby, that's why I'm inside. I'm in here by myself with him. So, hey. So when you think certain things, especially if you think that you're crazy, that word crazy is an Old English word that derives from the word craze, meaning broken. Okay, it means broken. Now, some of us may feel that we are broken and battered and torn because of the things that we've gone through, but that's not the case. Everything that you've gone through, that you've experienced, has been to help you become more whole, to come back into self. It was meant to help make you stronger, right? The saying, what doesn't kill you make you stronger, quite literally is that, right? If you're still here and you're still kicking 6 feet above ground, you are stronger for it, right? Your experience is more vast for it. So as you talk to yourself, if you're like, oh, that can't be right because that's crazy, or that seems so out of pocket, or that seems, astronomical, because most of the time that's why you say things are crazy. Something is done that is so like out there, it doesn't fit in the constructs of what your logical mind, what the physical world says is possible, right? But when you look at the word lunatic, right, it's Latin and it comes from lunar. And basically that word was derived because as the moon changed, people's emotions would change, right? Because back then, people were more in tune with the earth. They didn't have the shoes that blocked them from grounding with Mother Earth. They didn't have the clothes that were synthetic and were manufactured by machine, right? They hung sewed their clothes with their hands, with their intention, right? It was with sturdy material, whether it was cotton or fur made from animals or from plants, right? They were more in tune. Their food was more in tune. It wasn't processed, right? It wasn't preserved in ridiculous, crazy ways, right? I just spoke about how salt preserved things, right? Or if you were in very cold regions, then the cold weather would preserve it, right? Everything would be done fresh. So they were more in tune with the natural rhythm, the natural harmony of the earth. So yes, as the moon changed, as the phases changed, the emotions would change, right? As women went through their cycles, they would change as well, right? So it's not that you are crazy because you're not broken, you're not battered. But if you want to say, well, I'm a lunatic, I'm out of my mind, that would be more fitting, right? We just had this super full moon, and I know that energy was very heightened and very right for me. And I was trying very consciously to not pop off and be crazy, right, with my husband. But some of it kind of slipped out. But I already knew what it was. He already knew what it was. I was able to speak through it. And I'm like, okay, yeah, these things are being triggered and being heightened because of this energy, and is bringing forth a lot of my shadows, right? When you go through the process of healing and growing, it's not a one-time thing. It's not I've done the shadow work for years and years and years. Is it ever done? No, it's never done, because you're always going through new things, and new things are always coming up, right? New things are always happening to you. So you have different things being built in, right, in layers as you go through them. So don't think this is a one and done, right? Now, of course, the triggers and the things that had bothered me, 5 years ago, 10 years ago, I'm over that. I'm over that, right? But there are new things that you go through, just like how the lunar cycles go through things, right? Every single time when you go through a shift or through a change, there's different aspects of you that come up, because you're a multi-dimensional being. And here's the kicker of all of this, if you as a multi-dimensional being have gone through things in this life cycle and you have conquered it, like let's say you're guru status, right? And you're like, I'm completely fucking zen. You know what happens? The other shadows from the other dimensions of you, from the other lifetimes that you've lived, from the collectives that you've picked up, start to come up and integrate. And you're like, why am I going through this shit now, right? Why have I now developed this innate fear? Or why, ooh, not my earring fell. 1 second, y'all. That would have irked my soul, right? It's like, not that you now develop this new innate fear, and you're like, where is this coming from? It's coming from another version of you, from another cycle, right? A lot of times when you integrate and you decide to incarnate on this earth, it's because you have not conquered all the things, all the lessons that you've wanted to learn. You haven't gone through it all. So now it's like, okay, I have to go through this thing once more, right? And then when you go to sleep at night and you dream and you can commune with your angels and with your higher self, or when you go into a deep state of meditation and you have these conversations with your spirit team, and you're like, okay, yeah, well, consciously, right? Let's say conscious Chanel walking on this plane isn't aware of this, but my higher self, ascending infinite goddess, right, is aware that I've conquered this, I've concluded this. So let me have this conversation with you all. Let me break this down. Let me get, a quick little prep talk, and then bring me even more lessons, right? Even more experiences for me to grow through, right? So I hope that's not too heavy for you, but stop calling yourself crazy, okay? Stop calling yourself crazy. If you want to call yourself a lunatic, that's way more fitting. And then now that you know the power of the words, as you begin to decipher it and use it to describe yourself, you'll recognize, okay, this is the greatness of me. All right, so that is that, wealthy family. I love you all. I appreciate you all. I'm so grateful that you decided to spend this time with me. And until we connect again, stay alert, stay aware, and live in love.